Hey everyone, so I am here probably a little bit early to watch Elf. Don't judge me, it is only October, but I really don't care. I have promised my children that I won't post this until November and that may be a little bit more respectable. Is it though, kind of? But it's been a while since I've seen Elf. I saw it about probably 5 or 6 years ago and I absolutely loved it, and I have done it with my school before. It's been one of my favourite musicals to do, but all the tickets are usually really expensive, and they're usually about £130, and you know, well, as we know, theatre is expensive, but I just can't justify that at all. But I managed to get some tickets for £25, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that a bit later during the review. But we're queuing up outside and waiting to go in and see it. I'm very excited. I can't wait. I'll let you know how it goes. Hey everyone, so we went to see Buddy. We've come back from seeing that. It was a couple of days ago now that we went to go and see it. So here are my thoughts on it. So I'll precursor it by saying we went to see it on opening night. So it's on at the Old Witch Theatre at the moment. We went to see it on opening night. The last time I saw it, I said that I thought it was about 5 years ago, but looking back at it, yeah, it was much longer ago than that, and it was with Ben Forster as Buddy, and it was at the Dominion Theatre, so obviously a much bigger theatre, so much more scope to do things with it. So we went this particular time because I managed to get tickets for £25 each in the stalls. So £125 for a family of 5 to go and see a West End show, I think is brilliant. And we actually got our tickets through Stage Door. So sometimes I'll look at Today Ticks, sometimes I just go directly to the theatre because I find that it can be cheaper going directly through the theatre itself. But for this particular one, Stage Door had tickets there that were £25, and we were kind of 2/3 of the way back in the stalls, and we were on the right hand side. I'll post a picture so you can see the seat view. We were kind of, it was a bit of a letterbox view really, but kind of that's what you expect, because we were under the overhang for the dress circle. So one thing I will say is if you've got sort of seats like that, just be mindful that there is a moment at the end, and particularly if you've got young children, that they may well want to be seeing what is going on. There's a bit of a magical moment. And actually, if you were further forward in the stalls, hence the reason they're more expensive, or you're up in the dress circle, you're going to get a better view of that moment. And sort of, you know, snow coming down and stuff like that. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil it for people that are going. So yeah, so that's just kind of a bit of a precursor to sort of where I'm coming from this review. But like I said, you know, it was £25 a seat, so that's much cheaper than the actual cost of seats. So yeah, that was all good. It was all good. So when we got there, we were queuing up outside. They weren't letting people in until about 35 minutes before the show. So you kind of knew straight away that it was those opening night snagging problems. You knew you were going to be pushed through quite quickly, weren't maybe going to have a chance to kind of look at some of the merchandise and stuff like that. So yeah, we got in, went and found our seats, and then I did manage to pop upstairs and queue up. We got a souvenir programme, which is here, and that one was £12, so fairly standard for the type of thing that you get. Which was, yeah, it was fine. And then we went and had a look at the different bits of merchandise. With it being opening night, you know, they didn't have all the merchandise there that I would have liked. I really wanted to get a Santa hat saying I know him, but they didn't have any in stock. So I thought that was a bit of a shame, really, that it would have been nice to have everything there for the opening night. You always find that it's either at the beginning they have stuff missing, or at the end, you know, they've run out of stuff. So maybe the middle is the better time to go for a run, maybe. not a literal run, because, you know, who would want to do that? But a run of a show. So I did get myself a nice little tote bag. Again, I've put some prices up of what they look like. So this was my kind of tote bag with Elf on it. And of course, on the back, it's got sort of a logo on the back that says the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And it comes with a little kind of wallet that you can pack it away in, which is really cool. They have little plushies. The plushies are quite expensive for the size they are. They've got jumpers there that are about, you know, anything between £40 and £55 and stuff. So, you know, it's not cheap. I know of shows that do cheaper merchandise, but then, you know, this is a limited run. It's a limited time. So yeah, you're gonna pay through the nose for a little bit, really. Right, so let's have a look at the show itself. I have mixed feelings on this show. For me, the version that I've seen before was a better version. I think the space was probably a better space at the Dominion than the Old Witch. I do love the Old Witch, but it is an old theatre, so you know, yeah, you're a little bit, maybe a little bit more limited on what you can actually do. The characters themselves, I mean, like I said, I know this musical really well, which probably in some ways doesn't help me. It's one of my favourite musicals that I've done and directed, because it's just so much fun, and the music and the songs are so great, and there's so many opportunities for comedy and great choreography. So, yeah, the characters themselves. Joel Montague played Buddy. There were moments when I really liked it, and you know, it certainly felt that in the second act everything just kind of relaxed a little bit more, which makes sense with it being the first night, and there were, you know, a few little problems, but I felt sometimes he got it right as Buddy. Sometimes it felt a little bit pantomimish, which I know is the character of Buddy. And sometimes it just felt like the comedy was forced, and it was just being pushed a little bit too hard. And you know, there was a moment with a chair where the chair wasn't quite behaving itself, as wheelie chairs don't always behave on stage, and he kind of almost pointed out to the audience that there was a problem with the chair, whereas he could have actually turned it into a real comedy moment and have slipped off the chair and made it into just a bit of a fun moment in the show, which he didn't. And I just, yeah, it didn't always hit the mark for me of the character as Buddy. But I think, you know, younger kids would probably still really enjoy it and really enjoy his character. I had to say I did prefer Ben Forster's version of Buddy. I just did. I just didn't find John Montague quite as believable. Can't believe that I'm actually saying that someone's believable as an elf, but you know, hey. Carrie Hope Fletcher. I really like Carrie Hope Fletcher. I think she's great. I think that she stands for, you know, a lot of good within the theatre industry, and I know she's had a lot of flack in the past, which I think is unjustified. Her as Jovie, again, I'm not entirely sure that she did it for me, because Jodie's quite a Jovie is quite a sarcastic character, really, and you need to see that in order for her character to kind of thaw and for her to get the magic and stuff, and it didn't always come across. Again, it may well just be because she hasn't quite settled into that character yet, because it was opening night, but it was maybe not quite how I would see Jovie. I still, you know, I think she's got a lovely voice. I do rate her. Love to see her in Calamity Jane. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it worked or whether there was that kind of chemistry there between her and John Montague as particular characters. Rosanna Hyland, who played Emily Hobbs, I thought was great. I thought both her and we had Samuel Sturge, who was playing Michael. For me, they stole the show. They were absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I really looked forward to seeing their parts together and the audience, the applause that they got was, it was one of those moments where it kept on going, because he just wiped the floor with a lot of people. Actually, he was really, really fantastic. Aled Jones as Walter Hobbs. Again, I'm a fan of Aled Jones. I really like him. I really like his work. But he felt too nice for Walter Hobbs. Walter Hobbs is supposed to be a little bit mean. But again, that might be something that settles as the performance goes on. Martin Ellis as Santa, Mr. Greenway was brilliant. Lucinda Lawrence, really liked her as Deb. She had a lot of sort of comedy and stuff in it, and I thought the swing and ensemble and everything, they were brilliant. The opening number when they're singing "Happy All the Time" and they're being the dwarves is brilliant. It's a great opening number, and again, very joyous, lots of fun. So yeah, character-wise, casting-wise, I wasn't 100% convinced, but like I said, that could change as it goes along, and settle a little bit more maybe. Choreography, there were some great sort of standout moments with choreography. Like I said, "Happy All the Time" was brilliant for choreography. Nobody Cares About Santa Claus was brilliant as well. I think they had a lot of great choreography with the tables on there. It had a really nice feel to it, great harmonies, really nice sung. Again, there were little mistakes that were happening again, because it's opening night, but there were mistakes throughout, with ensemble members and things going the wrong way or doing the wrong moves. Which again, you do understand, but if I was paying more than £25 a ticket, I don't know, I'd be massively, massively happy about it. Sparkle Jolly Twinkle Jingly, which is it's a great song, great song. I was expecting a lot from it. I was expecting maybe it to be a little bit like it was last time. I was expecting a little bit more like Supercalifragilistic from Mary Poppins, one of those standout choreography moments. And it kind of wasn't. And again, this little like motif that they have at the end, which looks really cool when it's done right. And they did have that little motif in the original version that I saw. People kept getting wrong each time they did it, which was just really irritating, because it would have just looked really neat and really cool if everyone had got it right. And it was leads that were getting it wrong as well, which kind of made it feel that it was just a little bit under-rehearsed. So yeah, I mean, it was a good show. It was a good show. It's a feel-good show. You can't go wrong with the music. You can't go wrong with the story. So if you are wanting to just go and have a bit of fun, feel good afternoon, evening in the West End before Christmas, and you're wanting to take your family for a bit of fun, then it's a great musical to go and see. It's always going to be. It's a lovely musical to go and see. I think there's a little bit of work that needs to be done on this, which will probably happen over the next month. I mean, we're only just going into November. It's got sort of another, I think, 7 weeks or so to go as a run. Would I be wanting to pay £225 a ticket for this show? Absolutely not. I really wouldn't. I'd feel really quite miffed if I did. And with those tickets that are those price, you're paying for the view at the end. That is what you're paying for. Yeah, but even the seats where we were, they would normally be a lot more than we paid for them. And you're looking at over £130 a ticket as time goes on. Would I be happy paying that? No, I probably wouldn't want to pay that. So if you manage to get some cheaper tickets, then I'd say, yeah, go along. It's a great fun show to go and see. But yeah, just be mindful of what you're going to watch. That it's not your next kind of Tony Award winning performances, but it's fun. It's feel good. It's Christmas, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye.